It is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Welcome back to another episode of Baseball Today, brought to you by Mountain Dew. If you're looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer, go and grab a Mountain Dew. That is my good buddy, Blitzball, Wiffle, just warehouse games player extraordinaire, Jimmy Norp. I'm your host, Trevor Plouffe, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. Jimmy, the people were clamoring for you to come back on the show. We finally locked you down. The last ep before C. Rose gets back, we had to bring in the superstar. How you doing today?
I'm good, Trev. An honor to be the last fill-in for Rose. It'll be good to have him back. But for now, big shoes to fill. We'll try to fill him again.
I believe he's coming back on Monday. You never know. They might not let him back in the country. We'll see how that goes. And then just some stuff to catch everybody up. I might not be here on Tuesday as I have some scheduling conflicts. I'm going out to do the Cubs Twins series. We'll get to that later, people. But we're going to start this ep with a tip of the cap like we always do. And this one's a little interesting. We're giving it to the Jays as they beat the Yanks for the second game in a row. Yankees made a nice, valiant comeback effort, but in the end, it was the Blue Jays with a W. And now there is a tie at the top of the AL East for the first time since April 13th. Jays and Yanks tied atop the division. Rays a half game back right now. The only other divisions that have been held for that long, the Cubs have been in first place in the NL Central since April 4th. The Tigers had a one-day skid. They've been there since April 22nd, though. So I guess the tip of the cap is to the Blue Jays and the Rays for making this a fun race. The guy that runs this show, Chris Rose, said the Yankees were going to win the division by double digits. I don't think that's going to happen. What's your take on the AL East coming down to it now?
Yeah, producer Dan Rourke hates what he sees right now, that's for sure. It's kind of funny, though. Last time I was on the show, I kind of talked about how a lot of people might have thought that the AL East was over, and now here we are back. We got a tie with the Blue Jays, and the Rays only a half game back, which is interesting, too, because I feel like a lot of baseball fans before the year started might have thought this division was going to be, Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, and then here come the Blue Jays and the Rays. That's what I love about baseball. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. And I expect this division to be close the rest of the way. I don't think the Yankees or anybody else is just going to run away with it.
I agree. And that's what's good for baseball. We don't want divisions just being like the Tigers. Hey, slow up a little bit, guys. Give my Twins a chance. What are they? They're up 12.5 games. My goodness. Shout out to the AL East. Let's keep it interesting. But that being said, let's get to our first question. This is probably the biggest topic we're going to have today. Our guy Clayton Kershaw became the 20th member of the 3000K Club. Listen in.
The ravine rises, ready to erupt.
What I love about this more than anything is, again, doing it in front of Chavez Ravine, in front of the home crowd. Steven Nelson with the great call there, letting the crowd react, letting the moment breathe a little bit. It's the only team, obviously, that Clayton Kershaw has ever played for. We're talking about one of the all-time greats, first ballot Hall of Famer. I guess, give me your thoughts on Clayton Kershaw, what he's meant to you and your baseball fandom, and then we'll kind of get into the real question at hand.
Yeah, so, I'm 24 years old. Clayton Kershaw, probably the best starting pitcher I've ever seen, man. Like, in my lifetime, it's been crazy what he's been able to do, and I feel like sometimes even I forget and, maybe take for granted how good he's been. Like, in my mind, I always go like Verlander, Scherzer, but then you really think about Kershaw, and he might be above those two guys. I also want to give, big shout out to Dave Roberts. You said doing it in front of the home crowd. He left Kershaw out there. He could have taken him out, and he treated that game a little bit differently. You could tell they said it on the broadcast a lot, but they wanted him to do it in front of the home crowd. I was watching it live. Awesome moment. So, super happy for Kersh and all the Dodgers fans. And the teammates, too, showed him a lot of love, which you love to see.
I believe it was 8 of the first 11 hitters he gets to 2 strikes on and doesn't strike out anybody.
Couldn't put anybody but.
People all showed up to see it. Kershaw got the job done. Some of the accolades for him. He was MVP, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 2-time World Series champ, 10-time All-Star. Jimmy, 2,700, over 2,700 innings pitched to a 2.52 ERA. I mean, you're talking about, yes, one of the greatest to ever do it. Scherzer and Verlander, the guys that you mentioned, they're the only other active players with 3,000 strikeouts. So, I mean, shout out Kersh, amazing accomplishment. Humble as always after the game, saying, "Oh man, my slider was just so bad. Sorry it took so long." I mean, he's one of a kind out there, very beloved amongst everybody in LA. The other question I wanted to ask about this, though, is, with the way pitching is going now, we're seeing bullpens take more and more of a role in games as managers are trying to shorten them. We're looking at innings limitations to try to, keep players' arms fresh and healthy. All that to say, do you think that Clayton Kershaw will be the last member of the 3,000K club?
Yeah, this is a tough question. I'd like to think that he's not going to be the last member that we'll see in our lifetime, but you do think about it. Injuries. Everybody gets Tommy John. It's like a given at this point. I mean, bullpen days are a big thing. Relievers are coming in the 5th, 6th inning nowadays. I was looking at active guys who has a chance. I mean, the one guy who stuck out was Chris Sale. He's 2,500 strikeouts. He's 36 years old. I mean, do I think he's going to get there? No, but there's a small % chance that he can do it. I'd like to think that somebody's going to do it, but if somebody is, it might be somebody who's not even in the big leagues yet. So time will tell, but it's going to be tough. Kersh could be the last guy we see for definitely quite some time.
So I think we got 2 chances, and that's it. After that, after these guys, I don't think it's ever going to happen again. Just the way that pitching is going, I just don't see innings pitched mattering as much as they used to. It's just the way pitching is going, it's not going to happen unless something severely changes course. You're right. Chris Sale, 2,528 innings pitched, strikeouts for him. 2,528 strikeouts for him. He's 36 years old. He had 225 last year alone. He won in Triple Crown. That's a very healthy year for him. So 4 more years of 118 strikeouts gets him to 3,000. And he's a team option next year, which I'm assuming Atlanta is going to pick up. And then it's just, does Chris Sale want to get to 3,000 strikeouts? He's made a ton of money. He'll be age 37 after next year. Does he want to pitch till he's 40? It's all up to Chris Sale. I believe Chris Sale can attain it if he wants to. And then after him, it's Garrett Cole. He's got 2,251 strikeouts. He's 34, just had TJ this year. I think that's more of a long shot. He's had big strikeout years recently as well. So if he comes back and feels it and wants to go, he's got a shot, but I think Sale has the more realistic shot, and it's really just up to him if he wants to. After those 2 guys, I just do not see it happening, though, which a lot of records are becoming like that nowadays. The game has changed so much. But yeah, I think those are the 2 guys that have a chance. Then we won't see it again, man. So tip of the cap, hats off to Clayton Kershaw, who is he's been incredible, man. So wanted to show him some love. Let's move on to topic 2. The All-Star Game starters were announced. And obviously there's always a little bit of controversy when these things are released. My question to you, Jimmy Norp, is who are the biggest snubs not to be named starters?
Yeah. So my biggest snub, I honed in on one guy here. It's a shame. This guy should be starting the All-Star Game. He's going to be in it, but he plays for a bad team, and fan voting wasn't going to help him out there. And the outfield, James Wood, I think, has to be there from the Washington Nationals. 22 years old. This guy's like the left-handed hitting Aaron Judge, and I know that's crazy to say, but he's 6'7". It's like, when Judge does it, we always talk about we don't see anything like this ever. But James Wood is kind of doing it too. I mean, I got his numbers up over here. I mean, he's just killed it all year. He's got a 3.9 WAR, 283 average, 22 homers, a 938 OPS. He's even stealing bases. He swiped 11 bags. His defense has surprised me too. You think about a big guy like that moving around in the outfield. He's been good out there. I mean, PCA obviously has to be there. Ronald Acuna Jr., it's cool fan voting that he's going to start the game in Atlanta, but he hasn't really played a lot of games yet this year, so I would have loved to see James Wood get a chance out there for sure. He's probably my biggest snub.
This is fun because we just did the All-JM team, so that's stats through June, which is basically what we're basing our All-Star Game on. For the National League, we had Pete Crow-Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and James Wood. Those were our starters there, and I think that they probably are having the best statistical seasons. I understand the Ronald Acuna love and the Braves and hometown and all that stuff. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. I have 2 from the AL. My guy Jacob Wilson, shout out, dude. You're a rookie. You're changing the way guys are thinking about hitting, or at least like going back to the way people used to think. Very contact oriented. Such a fun watch if you've watched him play and hit. It's good times, man. But 2.1 more, 9 homers, 5 stolen bases. There's a guy named Jeremy Pena who's racked up 4.6 WAR. 867 OPS, 11 homers, 15 stolen bases. He's played great defense. I think he probably should have been named a starter. And then my biggest one, I'm a Twins fan. Byron Buxton should have been starting in the outfield. Are you kidding me? Javi Baez, your Tigers. Great story. Great story. Shout out to the freaking fans for voting him in, but it's ridiculous. Javi Baez, 2.2 WAR, 9 homers, 1 stolen base. Byron Buxton, 3.4 WAR, 19 homers, 15 swipes, hasn't been caught stealing yet, 894 OPS. This guy is elite in every single category. Base running, defense, offense. He does it all, and he's from Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have been a starter. It's unbelievable. I'm happy for Javi Baez. I've talked about it a ton, what he's meant to your Tigers and his ability to play different positions. He's not even playing the outfield anymore, people.
No, he's back at
short. I don't know what's going on. There's always snubs, and everyone gets mad, and especially when it's for your team, like my Byron, you get a little bit more upset, but those are my snubs. And there's plenty others out there. We had this discussion the other day about what we'd change in the All-Star game, and I'll reiterate. I think All-Stars are like the recognition of being the best player should wait until the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you'll see guys in the All-Star game, like, you look back a couple years later, like, you look at his end-of-the-season numbers, and you're like, why
they'll get sent down in the second half.
Why was this guy an All-Star in 2021? His numbers are not anywhere near there. I'll be honest, too, on my ballot, I did have Byron Buxton over Javi Baez.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's so nice of you.
Yeah, I got you.
And now it's time for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. Jimmy Norp, who you got?
I'm going to go with Corey Seager of the Texas Rangers this week. The Rangers offense, obviously, we know about the struggles early on in the year. This is a guy who's supposed to be kind of their big player, and he's been a big player recently. And this week, 4 homers. He's hit over 300, 846 slug, one of the best shortstops in the game. Starting to show again why he can be one of the best shortstops in the game. And if Texas is going to get back into things, they're going to need Corey Seager and some other guys to step up.
Are they going to get back into things? I really hope so.
I hope so, too.
I really do. I don't know, man. I'm going with another AL player. I'm going with Wilyer Abreu. I've been on Wilyer forever. As soon as I saw this guy play, I knew he was going to be a dog. 24 plate appearances over the week, 4 homers, 12 runs driven in for the 1.288 OPS. He had a game against Cincinnati with 2 homers, 5 runs driven in. He's so stable out there. They got decisions to make on, kind of who they're going to want in their outfield going forward. If I am them, I'm keeping Wilyer Abreu around for the long term because he just seems like a guy that he's going to hit no matter what. Not a streaky type guy, very consistent at the plate, and he had a great week again. So shout out Wilyer Abreu and shout out Corey Seager. Also, shout out Bosch. Today's episode sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch power tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, and appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you'll crush it. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools make sure that you're powered up and ready for anything that gets thrown your way because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Head to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the power tools you need to get the job done right every time. Are you a handy guy, Jimmy Norp? You fix things around the house?
I wouldn't classify myself as a handy guy. Probably something I need to improve on. You'll see some warehouse challenge videos coming up. That's a little sneak peek where I need to be a little bit handy. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting. Maybe get some Bosch power tools in your hand to make it a little bit easier. I am handy. Sometimes I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm lazy too.
How
I definitely am lazy.
All right, since you're on here, we got to talk Tigers a little bit.
Yeah.
The Tigers, they remain the best team in the American League. I believe they're a half game behind the Dodgers for best record overall in baseball. They're 54-33. My question to you is, number one, how confident are you in the Tigers right now? And then number two, who do you consider the biggest threat in the American League to stop your Tigers from reaching the World Series?
Yeah, Trev, I'm extremely confident in the Motor City Kitties right now. I mean, they haven't really given me a reason not to be. Even when things have started to go wrong, I mean, before the show we were talking about pitching and how that's going. Like, some things have gone wrong. The bullpen hasn't been as good. Jack Flaherty's had some rough outings, but, like, they're still finding a way to win those games. It's impressive to watch. So extremely confident. When it comes to who I'm most worried about, playoff baseball is weird. Out of, like, the four major sports, I feel like what I love about baseball is it is the most unpredictable. I feel like the best team in baseball rarely actually wins the World Series. Like, you don't see that happen all the time. It's not a given. Any team can beat any team on any given day. I kind of have a weird answer for this, and I think it's because it's a team I've been very high on in the last couple years. But we talked about them early on in the show. I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays. The reason being, I just feel like if you see them in a playoff series, I like their starting pitching a lot. I really like Gausman. I really like Bassett. I really like Barrios. Those are three guys, if they get hot, you can find yourself losing 3 straight games just like that. And I also think if they're in it, they could do a lot at the trade deadline this year. This being the last year of Bo Bichette's contract, they want to go after it. So George Springer's also a guy who's been great in the playoffs. You know what Vlad can do. I'd like to see the Blue Jays add some bullpen arms, and then I think this is a team that would scare me in October.
Blue Jays. Okay. Shout out the Tigers. They're doing everything exceptionally well. You mentioned a little bit of the Tigers pitching woes. I got some numbers here in June. They were 15-11 in June. 4.17 ERA. That's 17th in baseball over the month. Their FIP, a little bit better, 4.04. That's 14th in baseball. So they've been middling as far as their pitching. You mentioned a few tough starts for my guy Jack Flaherty. Here's the good news. Even when their offense isn't going great, which, by the way, this month they've carried the team. It's been kind of their calling card. They have the best weighted runs created plus this month. They're 28th in stolen bases. They do not steal bags at all.
They do not run
but what they do is they take the extra base, the best BSR in baseball. Yeah. They are fundamentally sound. So it doesn't matter if you're not stealing bases and maybe your offense – maybe you're not slugging. If you're just getting on base, you're taking the extra base. That's all that really matters. So you're talking about a team that on any given moment could run out there and shut you out with their pitching. At any given moment, Riley Green or, I understand Kerry Carpenter's hurt right now, but those guys can pump you for a 3-run homer, or they got guys up and down line that get on base and run. And it's not by the stolen base. It's just good fundamental baseball. So, the Tigers have been very, very impressive to me. If there's one team that I think can go get them, it's the Houston Astros.
That was the other one.
We can talk about this team. I think they have a case for, being, if the Tigers are 1A, I think the Houston Astros can be 1B in the American League. No shots fired at the Tigers. It's more just give the Astros some love. They went 19-7 in June. They didn't really. The offense was okay, 11th in weighted runs created plus. So you have the Tigers who were the best, and the Astros were 11th. But their pitching was so dang good. A 3.01 ERA in the month of June, a 3.45 FIP. Those are both first and second, respectively. That's where I think they match up really well against the Tigers. I think they can match starting pitching and bullpen with the Tigers, with the guys that they have there. You're talking, okay, we got Skubal. He's the best pitcher in baseball. Have you seen what Hunter Brown's done? So you got Hunter Brown versus Skubal, and can you imagine the fireworks that for game 1 of a 7-game set, and you got those two dogs fighting it. It's the pitching after that I think I would go and give to the Astros. I think you just can't understate how if you put Framber up against Skubal, I'm like, that's an electric matchup because Framber is so consistent, so good. We know what he's done in the playoffs. I mean, the guy's rocking a 2.72 on the year. I feel like he's forgotten about. So I like that matchup. If Yordan comes back, then I'm then I'm very, very high on the Astros because they've done it without him. You know, Cam Smith has had a really nice start to the year. Isaac Paredes doing it as well. So you're talking on a team. We say the word inevitable with them a lot. And I think the better word is just organizationally sound. Like their scouting department is unbelievable. To be able to sustain the losses think about all the guys you're talking about. You just mentioned George Springer on the Blue Jays, still doing it. You get rid of George Springer, you get rid of Garrett Cole, you get rid of Alex Bregman, you get rid of Kyle Tucker. The list goes on and on and on. And they just keep bringing guys and finding guys to fill these holes. So I'm banking. That would be huge. I think that would be great for baseball. Houston Astros, Detroit Tigers matching up because they've been the best two teams in the American League. I know Dan's like, what about the Yankees? I think these two teams are the best two teams in the AL, and I don't think there's really a debate about it right now.
I think that's fair. I think it'd be a good matchup. Real quick, too, Trev, I got to bring up last week when I was in the office or whatever, you talked about the Tigers taking the extra bases, and I think it's funny. I was wearing a Zach McKinstry shirt, and everybody in the office, why are you wearing a Z-Max shirt? And I'm like, I'll tell you what, the guy does all the little things right. He kind of is like embraces what the Tigers are to me. If he's on first base, there's a base hit to right field. You blink, that guy's at third. And that's what I just love about the Tigers team. And I love Zach McKinstry. I had to shout it out because it was funny in the office. The guy's giving me a hard time.
We were watching baseball last night, me and my son Teddy. And I don't know if he's watching a highlight or did Riley Green hit a 3-run homer yesterday? He might have.
Yeah, two yesterday.
He had 2 homers yesterday. Okay.
2 3-run homers, yeah.
2 3-run homers?
Yeah, game 1 of the doubleheader against the Nats.
I'm getting caught up on all this stuff right now. I was throwing him wiffle balls. We're trying to watch the game at the same time.
Love that.
And he's like, does Riley Green have a good swing, Dad? It doesn't look like he has got a good swing. And I was like, it works. Doesn't like,
big uppercut.
What do they call? Do they call it like the tiger uppercut or something like that?
The tiger uppercut.
It is loopy. I was like, I don't want your swing like that, but it works for him. Okay.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Trevor.
If it ain't broke, don't break it. All right, man. We're going to end the show like we always do with a fun topic. 4th of July weekend. We got the Subway Series out there in New York. Houston is playing the Dodgers, and there's one other good matchup as well. Who is it? Cardinals at Cubs.
Oh.
So a bunch of great baseball matchups. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about 4th of July and holidays. I've done this on a show not too long ago, but what is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
I'm a big Thanksgiving guy, Trev. We have a lot of family.
You're the second guy that said that to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like to eat. I know I'm a little guy, but I like to eat, so I'm a big Thanksgiving guy. We have a lot of fun family traditions around.
Lions playing on the TV.
Lions, exactly. You love that. Your guy, Matt Stafford, no longer there, but
Matthew,
anyway,
come on.
We play like a lot of fun games as a family Thanksgiving, too. I like to get up with my dad, help cook the turkey, so it's a good time. How about you?
My wife just this morning we're talking about what are we going to do? You know, we need to go on a trip. We need a family trip somewhere. And she's like, let's go to Japan. She's like, let's go to Japan in the winter. She goes, let's just go over Thanksgiving. She's like, who cares about Thanksgiving? And we're kind of on there. I understand why people like it, family, food, football, all that stuff. But for some reason, I just don't have it high on my list. I do love 4th of July.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. Scheduling note also, if you made it this far, you probably want to watch the show tomorrow. We're not having a show on 4th of July. We're telling everyone to take the day off. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're doing a little bit of barbecuing. I just love barbecue, pool, just hanging out outside. I don't know. There's something about it to me that and baseball is on, fireworks, all these great things. So I've always said 4th of July was my favorite holiday. And I think it's just for those reasons. Same thing. You're getting together with family. You're cooking food. I like being outside. I like being in the pool. And I love ending the night sitting there watching some fireworks. It just, I don't know, man. It's very, very classic American holiday right there. So I'm going 4th of July. What's your go-to on 4th of July? If you're going to go grill, what's Jimmy Norp throwing on the grill?
Well, Trev, this is good. I got a group chat of about me and 19 other buddies called Hog Logs. And every year on the 4th of July, we tally how many hot dogs we can put down as a 20-man group. So
wow.
Over under probably be around, 200 dogs tomorrow. So
Hot dog king?
We're going to house some dogs tomorrow. Be out on a boat with some family. It'll be a good time.
I thought I read a stat where every hot dog you eat takes 15 minutes off your life.
Yeah, I mean, You only live once, I guess. Die young, but with a lot of glizzies, a lot of meat missiles.
A lot of meat glizzies going down. All right. I am going to actually, pull back the curtain a little. I'm not going to be grilling tomorrow. We're going over to my buddy's house, and I ordered barbecue from my good friend, Coach Nick, who has a pop-up barbecue kind of business that he runs. So if you're in the LA area, check out Coach Nick's Barbecue. You can search that on IG. You got to try to get in today if you want it. That's what I'm doing. Ribs are like such a classic for me. So I'm going some ribs and some tri-tip. That's what I do, Jimmy Norp.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
And that will do it for the show today. We appreciate every single one of you listeners and watchers. As I mentioned, it's going to be me and Chris Rosie back on Monday. We're getting the big guy back. My work dad, he'll be here. I can't wait to ask him a bunch of questions. So, for Jimmy Norp and super producer Dan Rourke, I am Trevor Plouffe. We'll see you on Monday for Baseball Today.